This is an hourly, or no, this is not an hourly tournament. This is a monthly tournament. It's a rapid shield arena. I'm joining about 3 hours late. It's 8 hours long. Just under 5 hours to go. I probably won't play the whole thing. I think the goal is just to be instructive, try and share my thoughts through every game.
Hi Eric, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling a little bit adventurous. Oh, I wanted to play a Budapest if c4, but okay, we'll get one of these. G3 is playable. It's like a Catalan with a different move order. There's a few moves that I will occasionally play here. I think I'll stick with bishop f5, keeping it with a reverse London. Yeah, c4. c4, I believe I can play e6. There's a line like queen b3, knight c6, which we don't go into. Okay, let's take. So here, yeah, so of course I could defend the pawn. But another idea is to play knight c6, allow queen takes b7, and then this move. It's a very typical idea in the London. And basically we have a London with this move included, which I don't think makes a difference. I'll play this without too much calculation. I guess if I were to calculate further, there's takes knight b4, a3, or no, not a3, knight a3. Okay, which we don't get. Now I can play knight a5. Hitting the queen, if check, I play c6 and defend the knight and the king. It's nice going into a line where I have a lot of experience from the other side. Like I've had these positions a lot with flipped colors. And I am basically down at tempo, but I don't know how useful g3 is. Of course, the bishop will at some point develop. Can you play the bingo gambit? I have a lot of opening requests still to fulfill, but maybe I can add some more at some point. Do you play the whole 5 hours? If I had to guess, I'll probably play about 2 hours, give or take. Might depend on my energy levels. Been having some allergies, small headache earlier. So I just want to be playing chess when I'm in like good form. If I sense that I'm losing focus or getting fatigued, then I'll probably stop. But for now, yeah, I'm decently awake. There's this move, there's this move. b5 would chase the queen all the way back to d1. But I don't know if it's necessary. Like maybe I'll just play bishop d6. Hey, it's hashtag chess. What's up, hashtag chess? Good timing. I just started streaming about 5 minutes ago, playing my first game of the stream. Shout out to hashtag chess. Appreciate that. If you're just joining, we have some very solid openings so far. Reverse London against the Catalan, which you don't see every day. Oh, thank you, Ulan. Gifting to hashtag chess. Oh, happy birthday, Rebecca. Rebecca is like the streamer for hashtag chess. Yeah, I hope you had a good day and a good stream. What's the date today? July 6th. So a few days off of America's birthday. Okay, if I play b5, Again, the queen would have to go back. I think I'll just castle. The use Snyder's Chumley. Maybe this move. This move can be useful in many cases. But yeah, let's start with rook e8. It's the only half-open file for black, so might as well put a rook on it. I'm realizing if bishop g5, then the queen's a little bit overworked. And bishop g5, knight c4. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Yeah, have a good rest of your day. Welcome back, Tickle Attack, Light Villette from Sochi. I was in Sochi 2 years ago for the World Cup. A nice vacation town. Okay, b5. b5, queen d1. Every move I'm calculating b5. The thing is, I don't want to chase the queen to a better square, even though it's the starting square. Maybe there's other options. Let's play h6 first. Making very gradual improvements. h6 prevents anything from coming to g5. Okay, white might be looking to play e4 soon. I have an idea. Very strange idea to play knight c4. If takes, I play b5. Take. Oh, maybe that doesn't work. Wait a minute. Here it takes b5. Takes. I can't take right away because my bishop hangs. By throwing a6. I guess the queen would have to go. Oh, the queen can come here. But then rook c8. Yeah, that should be fine. If the queen goes back, I take the knight. And after takes, I have 2 pieces for the rook and a couple pawns.
Sweet nibblets.
I'm realizing after takes b5, there's takes. White gets 3 minor pieces for the queen, which is probably not worth it for me. Okay, let's play b5 first. Spent a lot of time calculating a line that I think was pretty easily rejected. Thank you, Lackerdox. Not sure what niblets are, but they sound sweet. Okay, now this. Oh, then I take. And takes. It still gets weird. Takes knight b3 should be okay. Welcome back to Choco. Oh, sharing your happiness. Gaining 100 blitz points on chess.com. And getting some of your highest wins. Congratulations. Keep it up. Yeah, once you peak, don't stop there. Try to continually peak. Keep improving. Okay, b3. I have a couple options. I can take or move back. I think I'm more inclined to take. If I move back, then e4 is actually like a positional accomplishment for white. And for now, I have, 4 pieces discouraging e4. think A5 looks natural. Gaining a bit more space. Discouraging B4 for the time being. Oh, Vlad, Krajina, redeemed run an ad. I'll run the ad after the game, how about? Between breaks. When I run ads, it does disable the pre-roll ads for new viewers. So it's usually like decent to do between games. I'm drinking iced coffee. I think the ice melted, but it's still cold. Will help keep me awake. It's iced coffee with oat milk and some syrup. F3. So White really wants to play this move. F3 is sometimes a kind of big concession though, because it weakens this diagonal. The first move that comes to mind is Queen B6, which I think I'll just play. I don't know what White's going to do here. E3 maybe. But after E3, I could play C5. The big drawback of F3, the bishop's no longer having vision along the diagonal. So I can play C5 and not really worry about the d-pawn. Also winning connect 4. Putting more pressure on d4, so I'm threatening to take. If takes, and e3 is a big weakness. And even though the d-pawn would maybe become isolated, it's very easy to defend. Also could be used later to play d4 and just break open the center. I do have to watch my time. I'm down on time. This is turning into a blitz game. Welcome back to Pablo. Thank you, Suin and Rickneld. Appreciate the subs. All right, I think I can take here, win a pawn. Although, wait a minute, I could take here first.
Hamster.
Wait, takes. It leads to some trades, but I think in the end, it's still pleasant. Take. So I have this check. Thinking queen f2 looks enticing. There's also queen d4. Maybe queen d4. More central. I'm hitting the pawn, supporting my pawn, and pressuring the rook. Like one idea might be to play rook e2, because after takes, the queen's tied down to the rook. Am I threatening anything with rook e2? Wait, I can take. Let's take here first. I think it's just simple tactics now. There's going to be a pin along the a file. Essentially, I removed one of the defenders of the rook on a1 because the rook was also helping defend from e1. Now after takes, if takes, I win the rook and probably the queen. If bishop takes, I take. And yeah, white can't take back without losing the rook. So it's looking good. Queen c3. Bishop d2 is coming next. Bishop d2, maybe queen e5. Offering the queen trade. And white still has no time to take the pawn. Or do they? Maybe they do. It's still good for black, though. It takes. Maybe even takes. I have to watch out for this move, though. There's a line, bishop takes b4, queen a1. I sack the queen, I take on b4. Looks very unnecessary, though. Wow, my opponent resigned. I actually wasn't sure what I was going to do after bishop takes b4. It does look bad for white, but I still have to make a decision. I imagine it's still winning somehow. Like, I'd probably end up taking the queen. Like, takes, and then play this ending where eventually I'm getting in d2. But I didn't see anything like crystal clear. Like, takes d2 here and then here. Maybe it's good enough to win. Final position is completely winning. And the best move is to take the queen. So this is the best line for black. Ah, rook c8. Oh, rook a2 is no longer winning. I would have had to find rook c8 or rook e8, which are both findable moves. Okay. I gained a rating point. So I'm very close to my peak rapid rating. I think I'm 9 points away. Back to tournament. Oops. Anyway, next game. Playing Surge. Let's play c5. I think there was an opening request for classical Sicilian. Oh, I could also try. I haven't played this yet, like ever in my life. Let's do it. Let's play this opening, d5. This is a Nimzo-American variation of the Sicilian. I was showing this other day. It's covered in my most recent YouTube video, the most American chess openings. There's 3 openings that have the phrase or the term American in them, and this is one of them. And I was studying this line. At first, this looks terrible for black because I'm leaving c6 attack twice. But there's tactics which make it playable. So after takes on d1, I can't take back because I get forked, but there's this move a6. And I showed exactly this line the other day. It's great that we're going into it. Objectively, white is like slightly for choice. Okay, here I can take the bishop. But I'm not sure if this is the best move. I'm pretty sure bishop a4 was better. Now, of course, white's threatening this move. So let's throw in a check. There's a funny line. f3 takes, I get forked. I lose a rook, and then I check and make a new queen and win the rook. I'm very tempted to castle here. Castling makes some sense. No longer getting forked. Okay, probably e5. Because I don't want white to play bishop f4. I think this makes sense. I'm out of opening prep, though. Like, this is a brand new position. Oops! Ah, I blundered a pawn. I was too focused on preventing bishop f4. Oh, what to do? Opponent's high-rated enough not to fall for such trickery, though. Maybe bishop b4 here. There's also f5. I have to be careful, though. Bishop b4. I think I'll start with bishop b4. Just trying to develop rapidly. I feel like there's pressure to win this game and make my country proud. I think I have to take, even though I'm conceding the bishop pair. If I move back, there's b4. Bishop gets kicked around. So now I'm debating between... I really want to play f5. I think the problem is after f5, h3, bishop h5, g4. No, it's not so comfortable. Maybe it's still playable though, like bishop g6. Take, take. Yeah, let's go for f5. There's some upside too, like the prospect of f4. And if white goes for this idea, it really weakens f3, which could someday be used for the bishop or the knight. Hey, it's Daniel Naroditsky in chat. A wild Danya spotted. Danya saying, referring to a position earlier, bishop a7, knight a4, knight b6 checkmate. Yeah, that's maybe one reason to remove the knight. White had some nasty mating ideas. Like the king castling into such a structure with very few pawns inherently creates some worries for the king. But because we're approaching the endgame, I'm less worried. Although I'd probably be very worried if my opponent was Naroditsky here. He'd find a way to checkmate me with whatever white has left. I was hoping actually earlier that... What was I hoping for? I was hoping for bishop f4. That white would maybe try and set up some funny check and then just get mated. Okay, we do see g4. So we're going into this weird transformation where I'm going to have double isolated e-pawns. And if white doesn't take, then I'm having f4 and life is... Oh, life? What is life? Is life good? And king e2 is very unexpected. f4, bishop b6. Rook d6. I feel like f4 should be played without too much thought, but I'm kind of tempted to look into this line. Like takes and could still use the light squares, but okay, let's go with intuition. Yeah, delayed bong cloud. But now these pawns are, I mean, it's 75% of a cube. All right, we'll play rook d6. Still a question how to make progress, though. Like, I want to play f3 at some point, but it doesn't combine well with the light squared bishop. Wait a minute. Rook c6, b4. b6. Wait a minute. Rook c6, bishop f8. I guess I have rook c7 there to defend. It gets a little bit weird though. Like knight comes in, rook f7. Oh, knight comes in, I take first. Yeah, let's start with this. Oh, it's getting really weird. If we see bishop f8, I think everything's under control for black though. Imagine doing your taxes as a streamer is complicated. I have enough complications with this position. Can't be thinking about taxes right now. What a move. Like any knight move basically loses. I guess I have knight f6 though. Takes and then rook here. But then I go down a pawn. Oh, I could play h5 actually. h5, but then takes and e5 is hanging. So let's play this. I'm just realizing I missed like what should have been an obvious move for white. I might be in trouble this game. Despite my menacing pawns. Yeah. I mean, at least I have this move. Take and then this. There goes one pawn. I do have to be careful about getting mated. Like, white is 3 moves away from checkmate. 2 moves away from forking. So I'm calculating this, 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 this. Yeah, this is actually terrifying. If I check... It seems like so close to mate, but I think I'm committed myself to basically go into this. I'm just realizing our ratings are anagrams of each other. Not sure if anagram is the right term for numbers, though. Yeah, this opening experiment has kind of backfired. But it's still interesting. Like, the king is ready to be a fighter. And very often when queens are off the board, you want your king a bit more centralized. Hey, it's Curios.
Just turned 3.
Happy 3 years, 36 months. So knight goes there anyway. I mean, oh, that's a very strong move. I mean, I guess I have this move. I'm losing more material though. Where's my trickery? Rook f6. f3. F3 doesn't really do much, though. I might just sack. Yeah, this is very losing. Okay, I could throw in the check. Let's take here first. The one upside is I have a basically 2-on-1 majority. And because of the opposite color bishop situation, there's greater potential to control the light squares. Let's start with this. So preventing c4, attacking the c-pawn. Okay, now g5. Like, I'm down the exchange and a pawn. But there's still, I think, still practical chances. But time is also not on my side, unfortunately. So I guess one plan is like this and then swing the bishop around. Hitting the bishop. I think rook d4 would have been more annoying. Thank you, Ronnie boy. If you're just joining, I'm in a little bit of trouble. I'm down material and down on time. But I'm trying to survive. Rook d1, there's bishop a4 to include. Maybe h5 first. I'm imagining someday where my rook gets to h1. I do appreciate the raid. Shout out to Ronnie boy. I gotta stay focused for the rest of this game. The bishop might be coming here, actually. Support the pawn. I could play b5 as well. So c4 is maybe coming. I don't like b5 because then b3 is a very easy move. So what about this? Still issues. I'm accepting c4 comes and just try and make do. That's not pleasant though. Such a bad square for the knight. I don't even have rook h1. So that's for the bishop too. Rook can maybe come back. So rook defends the a pawn. I take and b5. I'm gonna win on time. Okay. Somehow held on there long enough. A slightly dirty flag. Opponent played a great game though. Like found some good moves. Even like kind of outplayed me in this imbalanced position where I thought maybe I had some chances. I miss a win? Oh, I just missed f2 here. Ah, I played rook h1 anticipating king f2. And I didn't make the realization that f2 just wins. Okay. So anyway, for those that didn't see the beginning of the game, this was an opening experiment. This is the Nimzo-American variation, which I've never had this position before with either color. I was looking at this a couple days ago on July 4th, and it seems to be a playable line, maybe a little bit dubious. So knight d4 is not a good move. Let's check the Lichess database. Oh, there's been master level games in this position too. Yeah, castling looks like the most natural move, and it's the most played move out of the 6 games in master level play. But according to the engine, the best move is rook c8, which I guess makes some more sense because the king is less of a target on e8, and the c file is maybe more valuable than the single like maiden one threat. And let's say knight c3, then e5. Okay. And we take advantage of the fact if takes, then rook takes c2. What if knight c3 here? Wow. The rook just chills here, and apparently it's fine. What if knight a3, bishop a3? That's a cool concept of castling. Oh, white can't castle because the king already moved. I forgot about that. Wait, was there a point in our game? I guess there wasn't really a point where I thought white would castle. Yeah, it's one of these weird things where like the king took on d1, moved back to e1, and I just forgot that the king moved. You assume that the king can still castle. So later, I went wrong with bishop g6. But then this was still fine. And then this is where I had to be very careful. I played rook c6. And then, like, already, I played this move just missing bishop d6. And it got very bad. I was happy with what I did, though. Like, this knight d5 move, I think, gave me some practical chances. And then, yeah, it was just a matter of surviving until time was on my side. Okay, not the best quality game from either of us, but we'll take it. Back to tournament. It's nice to cross off that opening on the bucket list. Okay, playing Sinoya from Kenya. Yeah, I'll play the Nimzo-American once and then never play it again. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Traxler was on the list. Let's play a Traxler. Or not. Maybe we can still get it if we see knight f3. No, we have a bishop's opening. Okay, bishop b3. A little bit unusual. Usually white develops something before moving the bishop twice. h3. So it feels like I can pretend that I'm white, like even though that I'm black. Because white's already wasted a couple tempi. And I mean, a move like d5 should basically be a pleasant reverse scotch. If takes, black will have a little bit more space. Yeah, just trying to accelerate development, maximize center control. I don't have bishop g4 here. Yeah, let's just castle. A typical plan in this sort of structure when you have the pawn on e5 is to eventually play f5. I don't want to play it right away because it pins a knight. So a move like king h8 I think is very natural. Gearing up for the kingside expansion. And if I get pawns on e5 and f5, I mean, they just control so much space. But white is attacking this pawn. I could defend it. I could play f6 actually, just defend it with a pawn. Switch up the plan a little bit. Yeah, let's play f6. King h8 still made sense because knight's not pinned here. Maybe something like bishop e6. Bishop e6, do I have to worry about d4? Not really. Thank you, one Sir Percival. Happy 3 months. Okay, so I have this like kind of nice development setup, nice piece harmony. Bishop e3, somewhat confrontational. If I take here, white has to take back with pawn. I get the bishop pair. Not sure if it's totally worth it though. Does strengthen white's center a little bit. I could also take here. Also play bishop b6. With bishop b6, I'm not sure about takes in d4. Yeah, taking some time. Takes. I want to go for this. I'm just trying to figure out the follow-up. We take on b3, maybe bishop f5. There's also bishop e7 here, which looks counterproductive. Maybe it is counterproductive. Oh, there's also bishop e4 as well. Hitting the knight. I think I'll play bishop b4. I'm keeping more tension. I just wasn't fond of the other options. There's not too many ways for white to like defend c3. If takes, I take the rook. Bishop d2 makes sense. And we'll probably end up trading very soon. Now I'm thinking a5. Generally a useful move. Do you think you can beat Martin in 30 seconds? I did a whole YouTube video like trying to speedrun the beginner bots. I'm pretty sure I beat Martin within 30 seconds. The tricky part is like they usually take on average like what 3 to 5 seconds per move. So sometimes it's a matter of just waiting for them to move. Okay, I think I'm happy with this transformation. Like still controlling the center. White's still trying to trade, which I probably just have to accept that we're trading a bit more. Like I don't really want to move back. So let's go for a4. This is kind of a long-term positional, what do you call it? It's like a positional trump for black, given that this one pawn fixes two pawns, essentially. I'm trying to clamp down. I have queen b5. Rook d8. I'm dreaming of maneuvering the knight to a square like f4. Oh, a hook is a different type of concept. A hook would be essentially a pawn break. Like g5, g4 is a hook, where we essentially force a file to open. I want to play knight e7, but then d4, and my e-pawn would be pinned. So, go for rook d7. Now, white's playing a decently solid game. Like, a little bit passive, but no blunders. Managing time a lot better than me. Now offering the queen trade. Do I take? Probably avoid trading. I really have to watch my time, actually. Like, taking would double the pawns, but gives white the b file, gives white more potential to play d4. I like the queen here, too. Pressure is b2, lines with the king still. All right, now maybe this. So this will come with tempo, and this could come with tempo. Some progress. With the knight on f4, there's definitely a lot more tactical potential. I think I'll play this move. I have a mini fan behind me. It started making noises out of nowhere. All right, queen c6. And then queen f3. I think I'll go for the queen trade. As much as I want to avoid it. Take, knight takes. I just like the overall control in the position. Rook defends the pawn. Some knight d4 ideas. There's gradual progress. Maybe b4 or b5. Yeah, I didn't want to trade knights. Okay, so now I have the f4 square, which maybe I can't use right away. But eventually, this maneuver would be very nice to get in. I mean, white might have similar ideas with this maneuver. Yeah, it's very positional. A lot of this comes down to just trying to optimize the pieces. Like find the best squares for the knight and both rooks. And then eventually look for the pawn breaks. And it looks like I'm actually winning material here. So if king f2, I take the pawn. If king g3, I take and then rook h3. It took a lot of effort to crack. Still takes work with the time situation, but now everything is pretty smooth sailing. Yeah, check. If king g4, maybe we'll see some pawn mate. Knight will be lost. Check. And then here. Okay. Mate is coming next move. Oh, is the board size off? The board size is off. Sorry about that. Hey, I gained a rating point. How did that get off? Sound. No. Geometry. Yeah, sometimes it gets off a little bit. I'm playing chess. Or now at least I'm between chess games. I think that was a really instructive game. My opponent played a lot of natural moves, like didn't make any like super obvious mistakes, but I think just some inaccuracies, especially with opening like bishop b3 and h3, was a little bit slow. Like usually if white's playing the bishop opening, usually it's a matter of going for a quick f4 or like going into the Italian knight f3 and c3. And then, so in this position, the engine does like me taking the knight. Just going into this. I guess this is kind of weak. a5. But then what we got, I think, was just overall pretty pleasant for black. Not winning, just very low risk. How does a 3D board look? Board geometry, 3D. This is how it looks. For anyone that wants to transition into over the board chess, I'm not sure how helpful this would be in like transitioning. Very ugly. No, you. Oh God, no. Lamau. I'm gonna be sick. Okay, chat doesn't like it. My brain. What face? Okay, I'll change it back. How do I change it back? Sound, geometry, 2D. Okay. Back to normal. Okay. So that was a second or third game? How many games have I played? Third game, right? I've played 3 rapid games. Oh, one person likes it. Maybe someday I can play chess in the 3rd dimension. But we'll stick in the 2nd dimension for now. Yeah, they should have a one-dimensional setting where it's just a single square. I guess a chessboard is a square in itself. Hey, I'm playing EveSingularity. Feels like a relevant name. Okay, e4. c5. Let's play knight f3. Hey, we're getting the Portsmouth. This is a Gambit that was suggested by Voltex TV a few days ago. I don't know so much about it, but I think a3 is called for. Opponents accepting the Gambit. And now what to do? Probably d4. I'm not sure if I want to take with the knight or bishop. Oh, is this a Jonathan Schrantz specialty? I may have like seen one of his thumbnails in this Gambit, but I don't remember too much analysis. Yeah, it's very similar to the Wing Gambit. The Wing Gambit against Sicilian is b4 on move 2. Portsmouth is just a delayed Wing Gambit. So let me fulfill this from Voltex. A2. Okay, I have to take or maybe play this move. I don't have to take. I mean, obviously I should probably take, but also probably shouldn't spend too much time here. There's also knight 3 to consider. Okay, let's take. Oh, Alpha of the Storm wants an ad. I can't run an ad right now. I'll do it between games. E6. Okay, so I'm down a pawn. And this is a move, d5. Actually, d5 looks really nice. Black's a little bit underdeveloped. Bishop b4 doesn't work because c3 and then white's hitting 2 minor pieces. I can't subscribe right now, so I wanted to help in a way. Oh, that's kind. Yeah, running ads is one way that makes streaming a sustainable living. As cruel as it may be. Okay, so knight ce7. It's really tempting to play d6, knight g6, and then e5. And then someday try and get a knight to c7. There's also knight c6. So I'm taking time here because I think the move is not so simple. Like knight c3, d6. I like the prospect of knight c3 actually. Oh, thank you, Podapano, gifting to Alpha the Storm. That's very kind. Oh, shout out to my opponent, who's also streaming. I didn't know this. Yeah, I guess people can get the dual commentary experience. Yeah, and just to reiterate, this is a rapid shield arena, so I late joined a couple hours in. I'm trying to work my way up the standings. Currently in the top 900. Why are players lower rated? Yeah, it's gonna be hard to play a high rated opponent this tournament. Like the leader is 2467 rapid. I wonder if there's anyone playing in the tournament who's higher rated than me. Okay, so we do see d6. So there's bishop b5 and knight b5. I mean, one calculation is bishop b5, bishop d7, then takes, and 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 then king moves, and then f7 traps a rook. That looks really nice. This might be my first time playing the Portsmouth Gambit. And it's working out really nicely. Yeah, I think this is a big problem for black. Black would like to move the knight and hit the queen, but when the knight moves, I take the pawn, checking the king, and the bishop's pinned. So no mercy. Yeah, after the game, I'm curious to explore some of the theory. Because my opponent played what probably should be a critical line, like just take twice. But then black had to be very careful. Oh, that move I forgot about. So I can't take the pawn because the bishop's no longer pinned. Can I play this move? I did win back the pawn. This looks pretty good. Queen g3 essentially ties down the bishop. Like if bishop b4, I can take and defend and attack. And yeah, development is definitely in white's favor. King safety as well. Yeah, I can castle next move, and this king is going to be struggling to find shelter. I don't think a2 is theory. It's probably playable, but yeah, it was probably better for black to do something else. Ooh, we do see bishop b4. Okay, so if I take, there is queen f6, and then take, and black actually like develops quickly, and then e4 is in trouble, and the knight, I'd have to play this. I win a pawn in that line. I'm actually leaning more towards bishop d2 here. Just breaking the pin, defending the knight, leaving the pawn attacked. If queen f6, I can play e5. Oh, it looks pleasant. Oh, we have the shield command. Yeah, I know sometimes people ask questions about the type of tournament or the format. Opponent surviving. I thought I was going to be winning like within 10 moves, but it's not so simple. e5, queen g6. I think e5 is still called for. This move.
Just stopping by to use my Prime sub.
Oh,
Thanks
thank you.
for helping me
Appreciate
fall
that.
asleep with your soothing voice in the 3-hour YouTube videos.
My pleasure. Thanks for stopping by. I like this move. Just look at the square. It's so juicy. If takes, there's no stopping knight d6. Bishop e7 is maybe playable, but then it's hard for black to complete development. I have knight g5 here too. Or bishop g5. Or just castling. I might just castle because I'm not sure what black is doing next. Also, I gotta watch my time. I think my time management today has been a little bit slower than usual. Knight h6 makes sense. Play knight g5. Queen has a few different squares. Yeah, maybe castling was a little bit too slow. But there's definitely still pressure here. Wow. So this move almost works. I almost forgot about this move, but it looks like I'm winning a piece now because knight f to d6. And if takes, I take with check, and eventually I'll pick up the knight. If king moves to f5, I can take and open the rook. Okay, good game. Yeah, I think black was actually doing okay even after knight g5. It's not pleasant, but queen g6. How bad is it? Yeah, it's better for white, but not completely winning. I missed knight f6 or knight c6 in this position. Was there anything better? Like sometimes the engine is just so strong in these sort of positions. Engine says d6, knight c6.
Queen sack on the next game. Thanks for the content.
We'll see. No promises though. I don't want to sacrifice my rating. Still trying to catch my peak. So, yeah, I think I like vaguely considered this. I saw this idea. I didn't realize that like black has no way to stop it. Like even a6, I still play knight b5, and it's just crushing. So if we check the theory, pretty sure the best move is d5. Oh, maybe not, but maybe. Like as black, e5 is also interesting, just to avoid, like trying to avoid white's prep. So takes a3. So best move e6. After takes, bishop takes c3. So engine just says to play this position, which doesn't look super pleasant. It's a cool gambit. Master level play. There's very few games. Yeah, a2 probably was not the best use of time. d6 makes some sense. Okay. Yeah, shout out to my opponent. Good luck to them in the remainder of the tournament. Let's go back to the tournament. Approaching top 600. 616 right now. Ooh, playing Ali Reza GM. Okay, I see one request for the Reti Gambit, which is d5, c4. Hey, it's not really a gambit because, I mean, very often white will win back the pawn. But I'll still leave the pawn hanging, basically. And we're getting a position that I usually play from the black side. So I'm trying to like wait, what move usually happens here? B3, I think. I think B3. I mean, D4 is also playable. But B3 is kind of the modern way. I've played Grishuk in this position. At least once, maybe twice. So Like usually black will play d4 is one of the most principled moves, and then some e3 move. It can lead to reverse Benoni. It's weird that I feel more comfortable looking at this from black's perspective. But I should remember that I'm white. So this was suggested by Be Rich 6 days ago. Hey, it's Be Rich in chat. Okay, mark is complete. Okay, hopefully there will be some things to learn from this game. The Gambit was not accepted. B3 does reinforce the pawn. Supports this. Also sometimes bishop a3. And I think the main move here is to play e3. Just put the question to the pawn on d4. It is nice to see the opponent thinking here. Because this is definitely still like theory. c5 is the main move. So let's take. And I will admit that I don't remember fully what the line is. I mean, d3 is definitely played eventually. I think I can just play it right now. And very often the rook will come to e1. Another natural move. And it's a flexible move. Basically, I'm waiting for black to decide what to do. And then depending on what black does, I'll either go for bishop a3 or in some cases bishop g5 and then trade. But I will say I have found this sometimes annoying to play for the black pieces, especially because this bishop exerts so much pressure along the diagonal. And it's hard for black to actually find a great place for this bishop. So a move like b6 just blunders to 95, and then there's a pin. Welcome back, Kavita. So h6 preventing bishop g5. So I could either go for knight a3, knight c2, or bishop. Bishop a3. I don't really like bishop b2. The pawn's defended and eventually e5 comes. Now bishop a3. Another option is like bishop f4. Bishop f4, knight h5. And bishop d2. Yeah, I'm a little bit conflicted here. The more I'm looking at bishop a3, the more I don't like it, because after takes, it's just easier to play for black. So I think I'd rather go for knight a3 first. And just keep the bishop on c1. I'm allowing bishop b4, though. Bishop b4, rook e2. That should be fine. So black could go in, like bishop here, rook e2, bishop c3, rook b1. I think the bishop is more of a liability on c3 than the strength. And the goal, like long term, the goal is to play knight c2, exert more pressure on d4, and then also prepare the eventual b4, b5. If I can kick the knight away, in some cases I could just win the d-pawn. And for the time being, I'm also preventing e5. So black has to be careful here, not to allow the center to crumble. Welcome back to Gari. What's up, Gari? Hope you're doing well. So knight c2. I also have bishop f4 immediately. I guess I have to calculate e5, but then e5, knight b5. So let's start with bishop f4. Yeah, all the minor pieces are actually finding some nice purpose in the position. And last few moves for black, like h6, like actually all these moves, I think are losing time because the queen is going to have to move again. And after knight c2, the bishop will likely move. Oh, Gari says, I played this dude. He played Stafford against me. Must be a fan of you, lol. I've played this opponent actually a few times before. I don't remember this game, but it seems like good memories. Okay, time is good. Position's pleasant. Rook b1. Still tricky though. Like, it's a weird configuration. Bishop defends, or the rook defends a pawn. Wait, the queen defends a rook, defends a bishop, defends a pawn, defends a knight, defends a pawn, defends a bishop. Long chain of defense for black. Maybe now bishop c1. b4 is a move. Bishop c7. Choices, choices. I like bishop c1 though. Just setting up for the next game. And also, yeah, preparing this. And there could be an issue for black. Like, at first it looks like bishop a3 doesn't win material because there's knight b4, bishop b4. But the issue becomes after knight b4, I have rook e5, hitting the queen and knight. So there's definitely tactical potential here. Oh, thank you, Gari. Gifting to Bo the Banana. Oh, hey, it's You're a Serious Star. I still have to show your Stafford game. If I remember between games, maybe I can take a break. Okay, so bishop a3. What about this move? b4. b4 actually looks really nice.
The Baghdad opening next. It would make for excellent YouTube content. Also hi.
Wait, what's a Baghdad? There's a Jalalabad. Is a Baghdad where you just spell out Baghdad? I don't think I can do that this stream. Or at least this tournament. Welcome, James Black. I have taken a small break from playing the openings that just spell out random words. What did I do in this game? The NCGB opening. Yeah, this didn't really spell out anything so interesting. Although my opponent played the Den. The Denbad. Okay. All right, let's try and focus here. So b5. I like b5. One thing to understand is these pawns on light squares. Like usually when you have a bunch of pawns on light squares, it doesn't make the light square bishop happy. But in this case, they really complement the bishop. And of course, they make the other bishop happy as well. So now bishop a3. I still haven't won any material, but I'm definitely making a positional progress. But it's still a question, like what to do, how to keep making progress. There's 95. Maybe just bishop c5. Attacking the pawn. Looks like a weird move because the bishop's not defended. It's in black's territory. But now black is in a situation the pawn's attacked 3 times, only defended twice. The one move to try and defend it gets forked. e5 loses a pawn. Okay, I think I go for g4. Well, g4 there is knight f4. But then, yeah, white gets 2 pieces for the rook. Actually, 2 pieces for rook and pawn. But in the very end of everything, I think I'm still winning the d4 pawn. And the queen can chill on f1. So that was kind of a big transformation. Some material imbalance. But once I win d4, then in position should be very easy to play. So a6. If I take... I don't think there's any rush to take on d4. Like, I'll play this move first. Just kind of fixing the pawn on b7. Supported by the rook and the bishop. What's my opinion on Andy Murray? I'll admit I haven't been following like top level tennis recently. So I don't think I can give an insightful answer to that. But maybe others can. There's a small possibility I'll have a tennis stream coming up at some point. Okay, I want to trade rooks. Queen c1 attacking the pawn, queen f6. Let's start with the rook trade. Wait, I just blundered the pawn. Oops. It was a complete, like, brain malfunction. I just gave away one of my most important pawns. Okay, never mind. Let's go back. Target b7. I got a little bit too relaxed there. Thinking too much about tennis rather than chess. All right. Got a blunder check. Yeah, the queen wants to come to g2. I have to be a little bit careful. If I play this move, there's bishop h3. Maybe h4 here. Wow. Opponents played well the last several moves to create a little bit of concern. How to do this. I feel bad just going for the dirty flag, but I guess the position's still okay. This move. And then this. I let things slip a little bit, but yeah, the minor pieces are still very happy. Knight f6. If I take, get this first. Okay. Not the cleanest conversion. But I'm happy with the opening. Like, I think this is a nice example of a very typical structure you can get from a ready, especially when black plays d4, and then playing this reverse Benoni setup. And from my experience, black has to be like very precise, even though the engine will say like it's probably close to equal. Yeah, it's like just zeros, but positioning it's very imbalanced. And one of the key moves after rook e1 is knight d7. And it's the type of move that you kind of need to know about to find. Because it's so important for black to get in this move e5. And after knight d7, I don't think I can stop pawn e5. Like if bishop f4... What happens after bishop f4? Oh, maybe black just holds off. Or plays this and then... Yeah, knight c5 and then f6 e5 will hit the bishop. So it's not great for white to play bishop f4. And then what happened in the game? Yeah, white pieces found good squares. So, that was another opening to check off. Okay, so now there's one thing I wanted to do. Analysis board. paste. So I was sent a game. I don't usually do like too much game review. Maybe I should do more of it though, if people would want it. There was a game sent to me by eeeQueroCafeee, and I forget the backstory, but it's a game in the Stafford. Maybe it came from a over-the-board tournament. So I looked at it like briefly a few days ago, but I didn't share it on stream. And I forget exactly what happened. So I'll just play through the moves and react and try and give a few insights or takeaways. Oh, it started as an Alekhine. Yeah, this is actually really funny. So it's not the typical Stafford move order. But after knight c3, e5, knight f3, bishop c5, there is a transposition into the Stafford Gambit. So a very rare way to reach this position. And then d3 can be met with knight g4. So good job to the black player here. I hope eeeQueroCafeee is here. He was, I think, here a few minutes ago. Let me know if you're in chat. But after knight g4, black's doing really well. But then h5 was played, which it's a typical Stafford move, but doesn't punish white immediately. Yeah, in this position, just take on f2. Or even bishop takes f2. Like black is crushing here. Takes and win one of these things. But h5 was played, castle, queen d4. Okay, some typical Stafford ideas. And then, yeah, this is a pretty common attacking setup. Queen h5. Okay. Good. So apparently the game ended here. Black could have delivered mate in one with queen takes h2. But this is still winning for black. So I think overall, an interesting game. Maybe a small hiccup not taking on f2. Oh, there's a question, queen h4. Queen h4... Queen h4 is a very typical Stafford move. I'm not sure if it's so effective here. Unless maybe it's completely winning. So white can take, and bishop f4. Yeah, maybe it's not completely winning. Let's go back. What's the best move here? Queen f6 is the best move. Queen d4 is still kind of along the same lines of pressuring f2. Queen f6 maybe keeps more flexibility. Because if bishop f3, engine just says to develop. Yeah, there's attacking potential still for black. Anyway, back to the tournament. I feel bad if eeeQueroCafeee isn't here, but maybe you can go back and watch the analysis. So moving back, 3 hours and 16 minutes to go. I think it's still very unlikely I'll stream the whole tournament, but we'll hopefully get a few more instructive games. Yeah, I'm not going to do more game review. I'll probably save it for another stream. I would need a way to, like, for people, maybe like a channel point redemption to submit games to review. Ooh, Grandmaster 2850. Their rating's provisional, but probably means they just haven't played recently. But some high ratings and bullets and blitz. Do I berserk back? Might as well. I'll berserk back. We'll have a blitz game. That counts for rapid rating. Oh, we have a ready Gambit. Ooh. Oh, we might go into the same thing. B3? Ah, okay. D4. So we have a Catalan. I don't know the lines here. This is some like deeper theory. I think C5. C5 or E5. I think E5. Man, I haven't looked at these lines in ages. Bishop E6 is a move. What to do? Bishop H3. Not happy with opening choice. I just don't know the theory here. Bishop E6 here. Like, I'm down a pawn. I do have lights for a bishop, though. Rook D8. Okay, threatening this now. The white still knows, like, everything. Maybe H6. Have to stop Queen G5. Although, maybe it's okay. Play this first. Sacking A7. Okay. I have a feeling this is going to be difficult to play. Rook B7. Take. Maybe Rook E7. Really have to watch time. So bishop E5, there's Queen G6. My queen side is so weak though, and I'm down a pawn, and it's so hard to get a kingside attack. Knight would love to come here. Yeah, this idea. Maybe the rooks can shift over. Knight moves maybe G4. Up on time, which is good. Okay, so G4 here. Problem is takes. Take F4. Probably no good. Now this first. super risky. This idea. Wow. Yeah, that was a great move. I don't know what to do. Take and take. Maybe G4. No, G4 doesn't work. Take there. That's just losing. I'll try this. That was just pure desperation. Yeah. Two rooks for queen and knight. Nice move. Wow. Oh, what to do? Got outplayed there. Oh no, my rating. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have berserked, although... Yeah, things went wrong probably out of the opening. Things just went very wrong from the opening. I mean, e5 I think is some theory. Like, this is a pretty well-known line that I just haven't looked at in a long time. I remember bishop f4. Like, there's some repetition. Queen, I think queen c5, bishop e3, and white can maybe force a draw, maybe not. So bishop e6 is a main move. And then, okay, queen a7 was best. Yeah, just kind of self-destruction on the king side. Yeah, there's really nothing suspicious about my opponent's play. I mean, they missed a few ways to maximize advantage, but this game I think was my own self-destruction. Yeah, I think a lot of people maybe don't understand what the cues are when it comes to suspicious play. What to do. Okay. Well, I'll try and keep going. Maybe we'll have a rapid game rather than a blitz game. Yeah, I think if I like get that opening again, I'll play something a little bit different. Like really have to avoid the main lines of these Catalan variations. Playing pasjohn. Okay, I still have a lot of openings on this list. Exchange French, Ruy Lopez. Okay, how about a Ruy Lopez? Okay, this was asked for by Greta Lapai. We have a Berlin. I don't really play the Berlin. All right, let's play D3. This is like a so-called anti-Berlin. Let me check this off the list. Complete. Oh, complete. D6. All right, let's castle. I'm pretty sure bishop c5 was like the more common move there. So we'll have hopefully like a typical Spanish structure. Maybe not anything like super theoretical. I'll admit that I'm basically out of theory here. A6 b5 may have been a little bit premature, although maybe it makes some sense too. I wonder if I was supposed to play c3 first. Okay, there's no way to save the bishop. d4 comes to mind, but also kind of just loses the tempo. So I've already committed to d3. I could go for the typical like Spanish knight walk. There's also knight c3, which is maybe a more modern way of playing. Let's go for knight c3. Because this also has the idea of walking over to g3. But there's some added bonus where after takes, I'm threatening knight takes b5. I'm also maybe enabling d4 in some cases. All right, let's play rook e1. So rook e1 over defends the pawn. So d4 is now a playable move. Might as well. Oh, d4, there's b4 though. And I have to do some calculation. d4, b4, take. Knight d5, take. Let's go for this. It's more of an intuitive decision. I guess now Black could play b4 and try and win a pawn. But there's some really tricky lines. Like b4, knight d5, takes, e-file opens. And with the knight now on d4, there's potential for knight f5. Knight f5. Eventually the queen can hopefully come in. All right, just for fun, while my opponent is thinking, Let's calculate b4, knight d5. If knight takes e4, I take here, and whatever takes back, I have f3 with the pin and win. So b4, knight d5. If bishop takes, there's takes, knight c6, hitting the queen, bishop, and knight. So after b4, knight d5, I guess there's takes. And then what to do? Knight f5. Actually, knight f5 looks great. Hitting the bishop, other bishop, and pawn. Bishop e6, I take the pawn, and yeah, white's probably crushing there. So the conclusion is b4 is nothing to worry about. So then I should be thinking, okay, what if black castles? I go for knight f5 right away. Maybe queen d3 to reinforce the pawn. Set up the queen lift. I'm also thinking castling queen f3, which at first doesn't look great because it puts the queen on the same diagonal as the bishop. But it creates a situation where later I can play knight d5 without worry, as the queen supports d5. Yeah, I like queen f3. But I don't really see how black can use this to their advantage. And d5 is a kind of an important square to fight for. So next moves, I'll be considering like this and this. There's cases where I play knight f5 and bishop g5 and then take and try and ruin the pawn structure. Yeah, we're almost certainly out of theory. I just don't know when we left theory. Like d6 seems less common, although a6 b5 maybe was like playable. So time situation is really good this game compared to previous games where I was the one down a lot of time. It is weird because I'm like playing an opening that is a bit outside my comfort zone. G6 makes sense, preventing knight f5. Maybe a little bit weakening, like I have bishop h6 now. I think I'll just go for like bishop h6, rook e8, rook d1. I guess one thing to calculate is bishop h6, rook e8, rook d1, c5. Do I have knight f5 in that position? Let's calculate. Bishop h6, rook e8, rook d1, c5, knight f5. The point being, if takes, I have queen g3, king h8, queen g7. So for that reason, knight g4 has to be played after queen g3. And then I take, hitting the knight. And the knight can't be defended. Bishop g5, I just take. I guess there is like rook e8, rook d1, c5, knight f5, bishop f8. But then there should be options like, oh, it just takes and then d6 falls. So the pieces are achieving some nice harmony. And black has a bishop pair. This bishop's maybe a problem piece. Queen c8. So what about still knight f5? It's a bit different because takes here, knight g4, takes or queen takes. Black might be preparing queen g4 as well. I'm considering bishop g5 here. Knight d5 is also a candidate move. Take queen g4. Yeah, because any line where black takes gets very passive. Yeah, let's go for knight d5. Because otherwise my knight's not really doing anything. And queen g4 no longer works because I take with check and win the queen. And now these things are targets. And yeah, with this line, I thought that c6 is just a really nice square for the knight. And black does have queen g4. I don't have to trade queens. I could play queen c3 is one option. I could take and bishop f4, even bishop c1. Taking on e7 almost works. The problem is takes, and then if I take, I'm getting mated before black gets mated. Knight c6 is a move. Takes. I don't have the in-between move, though. What about rook e3? And it feels really close. Let's go for this. I just like the nature of keeping queens on the board. c7 is a target. Taking probably was also fine. Oh, hey, it's KD Learns. What's up, KD Learns? I had alerts muted. Appreciate the raid. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you this weekend. Might be having a in-person collaboration of some sort. Yeah, if you're just joining, I'm playing Rapid Chess. It's a Rapid Shield Arena. I've lost one game so far. Down a few rating points. But trying to stay somewhat clean apart from that. Yeah, nice thing about this move, like black has a lot of options here, so it's provoking opponent to think. Rook c8 is a safe attempt, but now I have this move. So now the knight's pinned to g7. Okay, liking my chances. Bishop's attacked twice. Actually, a lot of things are unstable here for black, because the bishop's attacked and it's tied down to defending the knights. And knight's pinned to g7. Not sure if there's any way to not lose material. Yeah, I'll address all the questions after the game. Okay. Yeah, it's just a losing position, basically. Okay, so what were the questions? Oh yeah, what about knight takes d5 here? Which is playable. So knight takes d5, there's queen c6. It seems a bit shaky for black. Because if knight moves, there's going to be a situation... Oh, there's knight b4 maybe. But if knight moves back, then I can take... Oh no, I can't take. Maybe I take on c7. Yeah, my rook's tied down to d1. Sure, we can analyze with engine. Queen c6, white's only slightly better. Yeah, knight b4. I didn't really look into these lines. And then later... So the final position is just winning, yeah. I think there was a question about rook e7. Oh, rook e7. Yeah, so I addressed this move. Idea being if takes, I can throw in this. The problem is rook takes e7. I can't take on f6 because I get mated. So it doesn't quite work. Question about g5 for black. g5 is an attempt to trap the bishop. The problem is it's kind of weakening and still runs into this move. And white's attacking first. So going back to the opening. So we were still in Magnus territory. Caro Magnus.
Will you live stream your Swiss tournament?
My Swiss. Undetermined yet. I'm not sure about the DGT board situation. So once I find out if they're broadcasting games, then I'll have a better answer. But at the very least, I'll be doing YouTube recaps. Bishop a4 is dubious. Am I supposed to take and play d4 here? This line. There's like a famous line here. Like bishop... Or maybe I'm getting confused. I just wasn't aware of the theory. So bishop a4 is dubious because of what my opponent did. And black is equalized. Thank you, the goat. The newest sub at tier 1. So even though it's equal, it was still interesting. Like we got some imbalance, and then I was happy with queen f3. Engine maybe has other ideas. F5. But gradually it just got better and better. Like, or maybe not gradually, just abruptly it got really bad for black. Knight c6. So knight d5 was the only move to equalize, perhaps. So back to tournament. Gained 1 point for that. Still kind of far away from the peak now. What, 20 points away? Do you feel more prepared for future tournaments after past tournaments? It really depends from tournament to tournament. I think the biggest factor is my like physical and mental state, energy levels, and just habits leading up to the tournament. I'll play e4 again. Berserk. Oh, we got a Scandi. Oh, we got one of these. Let's transpose into an opening I have some knowledge about. A Panov, Buff, and a Caro-Kann. Opponent's trying to Gambit, but I was not cooperating. This I actually studied. Pretty sure I studied this exact line in preparation for one of my tournament games in Vegas. I have to remember the nuances. Pretty sure the king just slides over. I'm okay with double pawns. Bishop e3. Okay, so I have the bishop pair, slightly damaged structure. So there's b4. Okay, bishop e2. I'm keeping the knight restricted. Opponent's playing very quickly. Tempted to play this move. I think is okay. Because now there's some issue with the pin. I'm threatening f4 now. f6 is a very ugly move to play. Bishop h8. Still f4. Maybe this first. Okay, we'll keep the bishops restricting the rook. Not so simple. Doesn't quite work. And I have 3-on-2, and bishops combined with the like potential for c4, b5 should be nice. Just really have to watch the clock. I want to put the bishop here. Prevent rook d3. Ooh. That move I missed. I might be in some trouble now. I gotta just go all out. Oh, that was a very bad move, though. I'm gonna have to go all out. Opponent misses a very strong move. I'm still in trouble, though. Maybe this? Maybe this first? It's getting super sharp, despite the fact we're in some endgame. I mean, now it's going in white's favor. Threatening maiden 1. Yeah, that went from... Like, I was probably on the verge of losing there if black found knight d4. Okay, I'm very fortunate to be winning this. Oh, maybe not completely winning, though. A7? And then... King a4. It's still tricky. Play king a4 first.
I hope everyone is having a good week. Hopefully everyone can still count to 10 after Tuesday. Best of luck with the arena, Eric.
Thank you, Hijinks. Appreciate that. Yeah, the problem for black is a knight is pinned. I'm threatening a funny mate. Not seeing the win, though. And black's completely tied down. Maybe I just move this way. G5, F5. Okay, or we simplify like this.
Happy 1.5 years, Mr. Rosen.
Oh, happy 18 months. I have this move first. Preventing F5. Okay, now it's a matter of technique. I could let that 4 pawn go, but maybe no need. The king will come around, probably to g6, and then I'll win f6. Okay. Yeah, I could have been in a lot of trouble there. Like c4, I played c4 thinking we might go into this line. And then right after I played it, I realized I'm allowing knight d4. And this is really bad for white because I have to take, otherwise I lose the bishop. And after takes, I have 2 pawns that can't be defended. And this should be Yeah, completely winning. Maybe still some chance to like hold on for a draw, but okay. And then going back. Yeah, DC3 is a top engine move. King C2. So engine likes this for white. But somehow I didn't make use of the imbalance. Engine says I should play F4 and then trade. And then rook D1. It's hard to commit to this. Okay, back to tournament. We move on. Trying to recover the rating. Let's see. I'm down 9 points for the tournament. Could be worse. Oh, I'm playing Brigham. Shout out to Brigham, who's also streaming. I rated Brigham the other day. I think he plays London, right? He plays London. Debating what opening to play. Okay, we'll test his London. I think a few of his openings have been inspired by my repertoire. So it feels like I'm playing against myself, at least in the early going. Let's see if he knows knight d2. Oh, knight c3. Oh, tricky, tricky. I was actually watching part of his stream the other day, and he was, yeah, like he got this trap and just like crushed his opponent. Like if e6 knight b5, it's game over. So I think the way to do it is to take. Black allows knight here and then here. There's also a6. But I'm pretty sure this is like the objectively best move. Okay, I'll play a6. Yeah, we've played many times. One time he beat me. Oh, haha. The one time he beat me was a slightly different type of chess. One time we drew. Oh, I think I remember that. He actually trapped me in a stalemate. I was the one who stalemated him. There was some weird like en passant scenario, I think. Yeah, we've played a lot over the years. So, bishop here is a move. Yeah, I think bishop g4 is called for. It looks like a pretty like standard development for whites. The one issue is this knight doesn't combine great with the pawn on d4. Usually white prefers to have a pawn on c3 here. And now it's a bit awkward because knight e2 walks into takes and white would have to accept double pawns. Might be threatening. Might just be threatening to take on d4 immediately. So for that reason, like maybe white should have played bishop e2 first. Although I think this position has been reached by like a handful of GMs. I vaguely remember Levon Aronian playing this. Knight e5 might actually be the most played move at GM level. We do see bishop e2. Okay, e6. Yeah, from my perspective, I just want to be solid, like bishop d6. Maybe queen b6 at some point. Yeah, shout out to Brigham. He's been streaming more frequently recently. I think his Twitch name is Brigham Aldrich. I hope I spelled it correctly. Okay, bishop d6. We're going to have a fight going into the middle game. He's being very solid so far. Any chance of a Dutch? I still have a lot of different openings to play against e4. I'm trying to knock out some on this list. England, Budapest, Albin counter Gambit. Oh, there's Najdorf too. Which GM has the best opening prep? Yeah, Geary is definitely up there. I think Geary or Fabiano come to mind. Like Fabiano is just so booked up. So we see 95. A lot of things happening. A lot of potential trades. I think I'll take on e2 first. Yeah, knight takes, so d4 is still defended. I could take again. And taking looks attractive. If pawn takes, I hit the pawn, and it's not so easy to defend. If bishop takes, I take knight d7. And again, white's in like a small predicament. But if anything, I'm like only slightly better. Okay, so knight d7. Thank you, the pin. Happy 10 months. Yeah, Magnus is known for being like very versatile when it comes to openings. But in terms of like depth of preparation, yeah, Fabi or Geary are probably the like kind of leading the forefront. Thank you, Stuckfish, gifting to Molaris. Oh, Molaris says Geary sort of grew up at my chess club, and he's still officially a member. Oh, but you never see him anymore. That's kind of sad. Maybe he'll stop by someday for a, I don't know, a return. Yeah, I think Brigham took on e5, not realizing this situation. Because there's no queen d4. Like if bishop takes here, there would have been queen d4. So I don't think the pawn is defendable. And it's hard to counterattack too. So let's take. If takes queen d4, I have queen f6. Keeping things defended. I think I can just castle. There's also knight g6. Takes. Yeah, maybe knight g6 is for choice. I just want to like consolidate, be up a pawn, enjoy life. From White's perspective, he wants to try and like keep some chaos in the position. keep some tension. But I think at least one of the minor pieces for white is coming off the board. Okay. I mean, the one upside to being down a pawn, like white has one extra pawn, so that means there's one extra half open file. But these pawns are really solid, so they're hard to exploit. And I'm going to use my half open file. If c3, I have rook c4. Is it defendable or defensible? I don't think I've ever really used the word defensible. Is that a valid word? Maybe they mean the same thing. Thank you, DCatB. The first time prime. There's indefensible. Wait. Yeah, so defensible has to be a word, right? With an I. Might depend on the spelling. Okay, this rook is happy. Because it's on the light square, so bishop can't touch it. And yeah, it's hard for white to get in b3 without seriously weakening c3. If I want to be really adventurous and aggressive, I could consider like h5 and h4. I think I'll start with queen g5 though. Just so the other rook can come in. And eventually I'll push the h-pawn. Can you play Ponziani? It's on the list. Someone, it was SG had wanted Ponzi. So I got a Ruy Lopez in the previous game, so I'm working my way towards Ponziani. All right, let's go for this. Yeah, pieces are finding some common goal to destroy the white king. The bishop's going to tuck itself away. A very simple move, which I kind of forgot about. I don't want to commit to h4 because there's cases where maybe the knight goes to h4. So let's start with this. And then this. Some potential for the minority attack. It's hard to find a plan for white. I think he's done a good job of like finding good squares for the pieces. But at this point, it's hard to progress. Bishop e5. Interesting. I don't really want to take it. Maybe now is when I play knight h4. But then f4. f4, queen f5. f4 might be the idea, actually. Clever move. I think it's still okay. Let's go for it. So f4, queen f5, queen g3, knight g6 is not happening. Yeah, we could repeat, but I don't want to repeat. So knight f5 here. Knight has found a new home. This does allow rook e5. But then, okay, then maybe I take. Time-wise, yeah, white's not going to be surviving too much longer. Trying to crash through. I mean, I want to take, but let's be civil. There is kind of a threat. I think I just allow it, though. Here I take. I mean, I could, if I want to be really fancy, it's probably the best move. Although, no, there's too much risk. Let's, yeah, let's be controlled. It may have been the best move, though. That's one reason to not resign. I hope the opponent goes insane. Okay, no stalemate trick. Okay. I am curious, though, like, if I played c2, real quick. Yeah, c2 is the best move. Allowing this. The reason why I didn't go for it is because after king here, there's this move. But it's winning because white doesn't have perpetual. Yeah, the king can escape. Or queen e7. I didn't want to risk miscalculating. So, yeah, I think one takeaway, because this line, I mean, it's been played by strong players. Oh, MVL has played this. And we went into this line. And Aronian has used this move 95. This is actually a nice feature I discovered the other day. You can hover over these top level games and see what moves they played. Hans Niemann also played 95. So it looks like all the top players have played 95 here. And the idea is basically to prevent the bishop from developing actively. Because if bishop f5, all of a sudden there's g4 and white's for choice. f4 earlier would be checkmate. I miss f4. Not sure at what point, though. Oh, and the line I was calculating, I can explain that. I was calculating this line. So f4 attacks a queen, but also defends. It's like discover defense. So g2 is not capturable. I hope that makes sense. Oh, question from Edmonton Eric. I like your name. Still trying to learn. What does it mean when you say a piece is misplaced? Does it just mean inactive? Yeah, basically, a misplaced piece is simply a piece that's not on its optimal square. And depending on the position, there's squares which can be a little bit awkward for pieces. Like in this game, I think I had mentioned that the knight is a little bit misplaced. And it's a bit more subtle in this case, but it's misplaced because it's not really doing much. Like it can't move forward. D pawn's really well defended, and it's in the way of the C pawn. So in this sort of structure, the knight is very often better placed on a square like D2, where it reinforces a knight, allows for C3, and it's more about achieving harmony with the entire setup. So I hope that makes sense. Another example would be if I played e6 here, my bishop is very misplaced. It's much happier being outside the pawn chain. And there's many cases where in the opening, if you get your bishop locked in, then you can get a bit passive. Back to tournament. Top 300. I really didn't think I'd be playing the whole tournament. I still don't think I'm going to play it the next 2 hours, but getting closer. And by the whole tournament, I mean like the rest of the tournament. I did late join about 2 hours in. Approaching the 3-hour mark of the stream. Okay, playing Mennonite. Caro-Kann. Yeah, let's play the 2 knights attack. I have a breakdown video on this line for white on YouTube. With this line h3, this is most common, but this is also playable. I'm pretty sure c3 and d4 is called for. I may have had this position before. So I take and bishop d3. That's the same line as this. So don't think it makes a huge difference. Maybe I take with queen to have some more flexibility. Okay. So what to do? Bishop f4 looks very natural. I mean, we're still basically in some early middle game or late opening. Have to figure out how to develop. A4 is very typical, which I might play right away. Just not sure about e5 coming. Let's play bishop f4. The bishop f4, there's takes, eventually bishop d6. I also have rook d1. Choices. Maybe rook d1's the most flexible. I'm keeping the rook on a1 because there's many cases where the pawn advances to a5. No tea. This is iced tea. This is peach iced tea. It's summertime. It's hotter weather. I've been having less hot tea recently. So there's a very instructive game played between, I believe it was MVL against a lower rated player, still strong player, Ina Agrest. And they played into a similar structure of the Caro-Kann. And MVL just made it look so easy. Now A5. Now black maybe wants to gain space on the queen side. So I'm tempted to play A4 myself, just fix the pawn. Like anytime I get the structure, I try and remember that game. MVL basically like put a pawn on A5 and then gradually expand on the king side, kept the bishop pair. Interesting. So I'm keeping the knights. Bishop f4 no longer makes much sense. I'm trying to figure out what black wants to do. Is e5 really a threat? Like maybe I play this move. Discourage e5. Remind me later. There's bishop c2 as well. Oh, I don't want to take all my time here. I'm also realizing, yeah, this bishop doesn't really have a great place, and the rook is kind of stuck. I mean, knight g3. What about bishop d2? Bishop d2, e5, c4, knight b4. I think I'll start with bishop c2. It just gives another square to work with. Maybe there's cases where I play queen d3. I'm also unleashing the rook a little bit, so I'm trying to discourage e5. And it's a very solid position for both sides. And these cases usually call for more like subtle ideas, slower strategic play. We could end up trading a pair of knights. I like the idea of g3. Like later h4, supporting bishop g5, giving the square for king, restricting the knight a little bit. And gradual improvements. There's still plenty of time. I'm down just over a minute. And hopefully can play quickly in the next few moves. So long term, there's ideas of, and another idea for g3 is play h4, which I think I'll, do I want to start with? It might as well. We're still both staying within our own territories. We're both basically building our structures. And then later there will probably be some confrontation. But I like this chain. I think it complements like the the bishops. So now bishop g5. Just exerting a bit more pressure. And this finally connects our rooks. I played rook fd1 earlier thinking I'd get a pawn to a5, but that didn't happen. So now it probably makes more sense to have rooks on e1 and d1, just to be more centralized. This is definitely the worst place piece. One benefit to having the pawn here, if black plays h6, I think I can take, queen e4, and then if g6 I have h5. Okay, so black trades. Let's take with queen. I guess g6 is coming. But also here, like g6, God, I don't play h5 immediately, but I can start with this. It still takes work to get in h5. Yeah, that's a move. What if I play this? Wait, this is actually interesting because I think black should have played rook e8. Now when I play this, I hit the queen, and after takes, the knight and rook are hit. So I think it wins material. Knight g4 gets mated. Bishop d6 loses a knight and also gets mated. Knight e8 covers mate, but then I just take immediately on f8. So I think one careless decision by black is now losing material. And it stems from the queen not being defended. Yeah, so here I can take the rook. Although this move looks tempting. Like just get the pawn. But even if I get the pawn there, there's knight h5.
Good luck, Eric.
Thank you, Ojat. Appreciate that. Okay, now rook b1. I'd like to make it so this pawn is poisonous. b3. Nah, let's play rook b1. The rook now serves a purpose. Queen e3. There's also queen b8. Maybe queen f4, most active. Just keeping potential in different directions. Rook f5 is off limits. Yeah, the king is slightly happier on the light square because black doesn't have a light square bishop. Another point of king g2 is in the distant future, maybe h5 and rook h1. In theater, we say break a leg. In chess, we say break a finger. Haven't heard that one before. I have yet to break any fingers playing chess. Okay, this move looks nice. The rook will have to go back. And then in c5. How to do this? d5. Bishop e4 first. Supporting the d5 break. Break an ego. You have to strive to break the opponent's ego. All right, rook d3. With rook d3, I have to be careful about f5 potential, but f5 is not quite legal here. And yeah, the plan is rook bd1 and eventually d5. And like the way to make use of having an extra rook is to open files. But it's also to avoid blunders like here, here. Oh, here, here. Oof. Let's be careful. So the queen should probably move. Queen e3 perhaps. And now d5. d5, knight e5 still. h5 is maybe now possible. Maybe just rook bd1. Yeah, it's looking real nice. Yeah, just trying to open up lines. Like the pieces are a bit stuck for black. Although yeah, I guess I just take. Knight e5, I take on d8. Maybe not the cleanest. But the two rooks are still quite nice. And here I can take the bishop. I also have queen d6. Let's see. Take, take, take. King there, there. I don't want to make things overly complicated. There, there. Okay, I'll play this. I think this is actually simpler. Queen takes, I have queen f4. Defending the bishop. Also now attacking the knight. A knight's pinned to the rook. I could still take the bishop, but let's add another attacker to the knight, also pinning the pawn. Okay. I think this is good progress. Oh, thanks for the comment, Soul Eater. First time catching you live. Love the videos on YouTube. I appreciate your words. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, yeah, the queen plays a defensive role. And now, almost checkmate. That's a nice mate. Okay, so that was a interesting type of game because it was kind of a slow strategic battle where I gradually applied pressure and then at some point the opponent made a not so obvious blunder, allowing this queen e5. I think rook e8 still, it's still very much a fight, but also still pleasant for black. Please react to 21 g4. Oh, g4 here. Not a move I considered. It's interesting though, because of course I want to mate. But after it takes g5, knight g8, I don't know if I'm actually getting much, and now these things are hanging. Still probably better for white. But yeah, rook b1 was like a simple defensive move. How do you make plans in these kinds of middle games? I tried to talk through the planning process during the game. A lot of it was making small improvements, gradually trying to gain space, and then also looking for like the longer term pawn breaks, and also creating tactics. But here, like once g6 was played, I had the idea of eventually playing h5, and play actually flows pretty naturally. But then, yeah, the tactic kind of just allowed me to win material. So back to tournament. 2-2-2. Still down a little bit of rating the stream. Okay, so I've gotten a good number of the opening requests. Got a Spanish earlier, got the Portsmouth Gambit. Now it's time for Ponziani. Suggested by SG Head 3 days ago. Who said Ponzi, but Ponziani, same thing. This is my Ponziani scheme. Queen a4. Oh, it's Vampire Chicken. You missed the Portsmouth. Yeah, we were talking about... Someone was mentioning your YouTube videos. I was trying to make you proud. Okay, let's play bishop b5. Yeah, the Portsmouth game was actually like really nice. Got a winning position in 10 moves. So this is like one of the most critical lines in Ponziani. A lot of people don't know to play f6. I don't think this is a main move though, because after queen takes, of course I'm threatening this, but I'm also preparing this. Oh, thanks for stopping by, Pam. Also, thank you, Cerbero. Happy 16 months. Okay. I'm out of like really any specific prep. So let's think through this. d5 is a move. Would force the knight to move. We could trade. The one thing I don't like about d5 is it closes down the pressure against e5. It might allow for future f5 ideas. I could consider just castling, allow takes. And then maybe somehow gambit, like queen. Not sure though. Another option is bishop e3. Yeah, it's new position for me. d5, knight d8. Bishop d7, queen d7. That should actually be be fine. What happens after knight a5? The knight gets trapped in some lines. So knight b8 is maybe most likely. d5, knight b8, d6. Whatever it takes, I take on b7. I'm gonna play d5 because I don't see what black is doing in response. There's f5. I have a feeling that shouldn't work. Maybe for the simple move queen e2 and then e5 will hang. Yeah, this is definitely a sharper version of Ponziani than what I usually get. So we do see knight d8. Yeah, my thought here was I just take the bishop. I could reinforce. I could consider a move like this. But let's say I take the bishop, takes, castle, and the knight's restricted. Okay. I think I'll go for c4 and knight c3. It allows bishop b4 though. So I could castle first, not giving the option of bishop c or bishop b4. All right, let's do that. Bishop d6, so f5 is now an idea. I'm thinking queen e2 or queen e3. Probably queen e2. So now f5 can't be played because then I just take. Now c4. I guess we're getting a playable position for both sides. I still like the space advantage with a d pawn. Although black also controls space. The problem for black, it's hard to expand because e pawn needs to be defended. And there's ideas of like c5 eventually. Like bishop e3 first. Maybe rook b1. Maybe even knight e4. Realizing black is defending this, so f5 is probably coming very soon. Bishop e3. Moving a little bit too slowly too. Okay, I'm gonna play rook b1. It seems a little bit slow, but at least it's a plan. b4, c5. I was trying to calculate like f5, b4. If a5, I think I just play a3. Although there's a3, a4. So how to do this? There. I have a different idea. I'm going to play bishop e3. Expecting this move. And then this move. Idea is to enable f4 in the event of f5. It's more strategic. Honestly, I don't think white's better here. It's probably just like close to equal. But it's also just a 3-result game. Anything can happen. In long term, I really want to expand with the queenside pawns. It's just I didn't want to play a3 and allow black to clamp down. I have to manage my time a bit more responsibly. Okay. And this was a plan. Wow. So we're getting a very close position now. And g3 just is a solid move. Maybe g3 wasn't necessary. Like one plan for white is to go for this and this and this. Have to watch out for this as well. So probably h3. Okay, speeding things up a little bit. I do like this transformation. Like black does have a defended pass pawn, has the pawns on light squares with a bishop, but this square is very weak. The knight found a nice home. Yeah, let's start with king h2. Maybe king h1 was wiser. c5, wow. Okay, so let's play this. So I'm realizing the bishop should be on this diagonal. And I should really have a knight on e3. So probably I want to rearrange the pieces. Like the ideal setup is knight on b5, knight on e3, bishop on c3. And that only takes, what, 4 moves to achieve? And this knight's restricted. I mean, both knights are restricted by my pawns. Of course, have to watch out for sacks. Just imagining, like, the bishop coming here, knight coming here. There's going to be long-term potential against g7. Rook g1, g4, knight f5 ideas, queen h5. Okay, still down about a minute. Thomas Shelby, this name is like a OG on Twitch, I think. Not sure if it's the same person though, maybe not. All right. Yeah, probably I want to keep the rook supporting the pawn and then have the other rook come in. Okay, ideal setup achieved with the minor pieces. Now it's about improving the rooks. Probably getting the king off this diagonal. This pawn's defended. It seems like black isn't sure what to do. They're just kind of waiting, moving back and forth. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's bring the queen in now. Ah. I think I'm okay trading a pair of knights. I do have knight a3, but might as well trade. Now we could win the pawn, which maybe black overlooked. I think the bishop had to take. I was thinking about playing this and then saying, oh no, my queen, and then checkmate. Except it's not checkmate because there's a bishop. So let's be careful. Let's go back. B5. G4. G4 doesn't work. What about F5? Looks playable. I'm threatening to take and then threatening mate. Maybe F6 now. F6 opens the defense, so after takes, I'm not losing D5. Also an offensive move. Thank you, Kitty Pants. Appreciate the 4-month sub. I'm so tempted to play G4. A lot of potential funny lines. I think Queen G4 is probably Queen H4. Let's go with Queen G4. A safer option. Yeah, this knight is kind of sad. Queen E6. Overall, this has been a pretty feel-good game. I don't think I had much of an edge from the opening, but the middle game maneuvering, I think it was very pleasant for white. Okay, this is a move. That's also a move. I just want to play G5. Assert my dominance. Okay, rook E8 has been found. Maybe Queen C6. Or just taking... Take there. I think this is fine. It's still equal material, but the pieces are just happier for white compared to black. Pawn structure is getting a little bit weird. And this is turning into a bullet game now. I still have to prove why it's winning. I play g5. So threatening a fork. Okay, knight f7 is a threat. Let's play this first. Control a file. Yeah, I didn't want to trade knights, but what else to do? The structure is still so nice. F7 is almost working. Let's play this first. The bishop has no moves. The king's ready to come in. Did I miss a fork? I'll check later. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Going back. Oh, knight a5. I wasn't looking at this side of the board. Yeah, knight a5 is a fork. I was so focused on the other side of the board. Time was getting low too. It's not like completely winning. Of course, knight a5 I should have played. It was very gradual. Maybe not the most perfect play from either of us. But I was happy with the transformation because, yeah, this is like nothing special for white. But starting with f4, which the engine hates, I guess it only worked because black played this move, which just shut down any active play. Okay. Well, let's do one more game. Uno mas. Got the Ponziani. We still have, what is a fried fox defense? Birds opening double duck. Budapest. Play at. Some of these I just don't understand. Oh, fried fox is f6, king f7. I'll probably wait for a bullet tournament to try that out. Neidorf. Okay, I can't play any of the requests against b3. Maybe I could play the fried fox, which makes the most sense against b3. But I'll play e5. And we'll go into what I recommend most players to play. Two knights. E-pawn defended. Thank you, King of Splooge. It's actually a weird line. I feel like this is a move. If I take, Not sure if that really does much. I'm going to be a little bit experimental here. This move looks nonsensical, but it avoids knight trades. So what white's left with this knight blocking the bishop. And in some cases, I can attack the knight. In other cases, my knight comes in to start doing things. D3 probably makes a lot of sense. Yeah, maybe this whole experiment isn't really making much sense for me. I want to play D5. I also want to play C5. C5, knight E2, take. Let's say queen takes. Yeah, my knight's just misplaced on E7 though. Let me try and roll with it. Takes, I'll take. Bishop D3, D5. Thank you, Johnny Rodham. Appreciate your words. Okay. I think I'm still happy with outcome. Got some nice setup, got some attacking potential. I haven't castled yet. Might be some cases where I castle queenside. I think queen e7 is probably the most sensible move. I mean, there's also queen h4, but then this queen h6. And there's some merit to that. Let's go with queen e7. A bit more flexible. Yeah, white's just doing natural things. Hey, thank you, Bitcoin Boy. Gifting to Johnny Rodham. I see the comment earlier from TwitchX. Eric, if I rejoin the tournament, we should be paired. Yeah, it's never a guarantee. There's a lot of players in the tournament. So I think at any given time, there's a lot of players like waiting for another game. Did I just allow knight b5? I guess I had bishop. Maybe I had bishop e5. I'm realizing I should probably play c6. Just solidify. Oh, TwitchX was paused and had similar amount of points. Then there'd be greater likelihood. Yeah, c4 is very thematic. I think I'll play bishop g4. There's a few lines I'm looking at. Like for one, there's takes bishop b5. After which I'd probably just play king f8. I was calculating h3, h5, like takes. Looks fun. I think I'm okay with a king here, especially if I'm going to be pushing the h-pawn. Will you be playing viewers next? It's been a long stream. I've been live for over 3.5 hours. So generally with these streams, I stick with just one thing. In this stream, just one tournament. But I hope people have been enjoying the chess, maybe learning a thing or two. I've been trying to be as transparent as possible with what goes through my mind during these games. Here I'm being a little bit more aggressive than usual, but I'm pretty sure it's like probably not good for white to take the bishop. But maybe it gets complicated. Man, there's a crazy line I'm trying to calculate. Takes knight f5. Takes knight takes e7. Oh no, my queen. And then check here. Is there a mate in that line? Something to analyze after the game. I think in this case, I like the prospect of knight h4. Just applying more pressure. Again, white could take. But in this case, there's no knight f5. So white's playing it safe. How crazy do I want to go? If I take... Maybe just rook d8. Keep all the tension. There's also f5. Like really going all in. Let's play f5. Let's have some fun. If I lose, at least I'll have a fun story to tell. Maybe a sad story to tell. Sometimes bad decisions lead to better stories. So the point of f5 is I'm reinforcing control over g4, like anticipating if takes. Or basically setting up if takes, I can take with queen and not worry about white taking on g4. I guess there's other things to worry about. But... okay, we'll see what happens. Ooh. Okay, this could be a problem. I think I have to take with the f pawn as much as I want to open the h file. Like if I take, problem is knight f5 hits too many things. Take. Again, I want to sack the queen, but I don't think it works. There. Okay. Yeah, so I have this move. My bishop's defended by the knight. We might be simplifying into some endgame. Take. G7's also hanging. And on the nice side, there's this lingering tension between the pawns, which at some point white does have to address. Because I just want to take and mate. A simple plan. And if white takes, then the h file opens. I mean, first of all, it's a question what white does with the knight. Okay, down less than a minute now. I'm not even down material. Like, I did my best to sacrifice a piece. But, yeah, it's equal material. My king's still in the center. I still can legally castle both directions. King's just chilling, though. I do have a sense of what white's best move is. I'm not going to say it. A little bit scared of it. Yeah, white found what should be the best move. Oh, what to do? Take. Queen f5. I don't think I can get away with taking. I think I just have to cut my losses. Very soon I'll be down material. But maybe not. Up on time. Opponents played a very good game so far for the rating. But with the time situation, I still like my chances. I didn't take the pawn because takes and center would just crumble too quickly. So I'm keeping the pawn defended. I mean, oh, it's not pleasant. Okay, rook h7 or rook, probably rook g8. Let's play rook h7. Okay, I'm only down a pawn. I feel like this could have been much, much worse. Time's equal. Yeah, we're trading further. I'm actually happy with the trading because now I have some initiative. And can I make use of it? There's this move. F3 92. King will come in. At this point, I'm probably not even worse. Like, there should be full compensation. Active knight, active rook. Getting an even more active knight. Even if we trade rooks, I think there's still very good winning chances. Oh, that's a free rook. Almost played b5 there. Okay. Let's see how bad it was. At some point, it looked really bad. But it was always maybe a little bit tricky. Queen takes h4. Yeah, this is a good line for white. Wow. I didn't think knight takes g7 was playable, but okay, this is still better. h4 was a good find. Because, yeah, I can't really afford to take without allowing just complete destruction in the center. Man, it was... So the top line says +7, but this says +5. Okay, now it says +7. Yeah, a move like rook c5. I'm glad I did not encounter. So very gradually, things shifted. Just a couple like mistakes. It's actually a common pitfall in positions like this. When things are going your way and you just want a pawn, the tendency is sometimes to just trade pieces. And white forced this trade and then this trade. But the trades actually benefited black. Because I was really struggling with king safety. e4, man. Yeah, white should have kept queens on the board. e4 is hard to find. Earlier, I was actually scared of this move, queen d4. Not winning the pawn right away. But now I can't castle. Anyway. I think I'm going to pause the tournament. It's been a lot of chess. I've had... How many games? Profile. I played 12 rapid games this stream. I lost one, but had fun.
American only.
I did play the American opening. I was very close to losing that game earlier. The Nimzo-American. That was the first time in my life playing this as black. And we got an interesting line, which I kind of mishandled. And then had to resort to the dirty flag. Yeah, this is one of the first games of the stream. Thank you, the magician. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let me send a raid to a streamer I actually haven't watched before. I'm not even following him, but looks like a strong player. Thank you, Hokey Joe. Happy 30. Raiding Grandmaster Tons, who's a real Grandmaster. Also playing the Rapid Shield Arena. So send some good vibes. And I'm not sure which day I'll be back. I'll be back sometime in the future. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys soon.